Hello, hello. This is Okay, and we're inking today. Wendy Wonka, Reunited, and I feel like I need to cue the music. Reunited, and it feels so good. All right, I think that's all we can play on that. But let's see what we is it streaming? Are we live? Let's see. Your channel? Are we live? I think we are. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to try linking this with my Patreon. This is an experiment. I do have a Patreon, and you'll see the link in the description below. Let's see. Here we go. The video. No, that's report. Share. Maybe that's it. So I'm trying this in, is that it? Patreon. Yeah, I think that works. It's only allowing me to schedule though. That's a little weird. February 14th. That's tomorrow. Oh, that's no good. What about live stream right now? Can it only be? Aha, publish now. There we go. That feels better. We're live streaming. Hot mic. Okay. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Wendy Wonka. I was having fun with sketching this earlier. Shared a little preview on Discord. I was having fun trying to keep it loose and gestural, like pastoral. That always reminds me of that word, pastoral, gestural. I'm trying to get more lively inking and more lively, I guess, lines in my artwork these days. It's been a challenge for me because I think I have that, like perfectionist personality where I don't just kind of like fly through it. I'm like, oh, this detail has to look it has to look perfect, and I've got to get the right line. It has to look perfect. I'm very guilty of that. I probably spend too much time. Well, that doesn't look good. Well, that doesn't look good either. I might just not do that upper lip. Usually it looks better if you don't do the inking on lips. So I'm going to just avoid that. And how about that? How about that? There we go. I'm not going to play any music as I stream. First of all, because it would have to be royalty-free music, and usually I don't like listening to royalty-free music. Are you like me? Like, if you're listening to a video and they have royalty-free music playing, it's like, just turn it off. I'd rather not. I'd rather just listen to your voice and put my own music on. So there you go. If you want to listen to music, you have that option. Now you can listen to my soothing voice and your own music if it's not good enough. All right. Wendy Wonka, her hair. It's been a while since I've been able to draw Wendy Wonka. So it actually does feel pretty good to be reunited with Wendy Wonka. And in this scene, she's, intoxicated with her LSD wallpaper kind of stuff. Where I always thought that scene in Willy Wonka was a little funny looking, where they're licking the wallpaper. It seems a little too on point for a children's show. A little hard to hide the, what is that? It's not symbolism. Actually, I don't like the tilt of that. I don't like your tilt. Let's rearrange that tilt a little bit. There, that's more fun. Let's not make it even. There we go. Off kilter is more fun than balanced. All right, we're going to make that one line, and we're just going to have that be a line that gets thick and then thin and has a little shape to it. It's not so much a line as it is a shape. And do we like the swollen eyelids? Do we like that? We do. We're going to keep that. I wonder if you're intoxicated, are your eyes a little swollen? I think they are. So that might add a little bit of the real effect. Sometimes that kind of subconsciously plays into our understanding of a scene. And by subconsciously, I mean your brain interprets it and you're not fully aware of what's going on, but it's happening. Whether you like it or not. Okay. Here we go. We've got her fluffy shoulder pad things on here. Now we got to draw her hand clasp. Now we would erase her hair because her hand clasp is in front of her hair. Let's get a good view of her hand clasp. And let's try to keep these knuckles very lively, very formed. Let's get the forms of her bones in there. It's pretty amazing when you have like these thick kind of like latex gloves on, how much it actually hides the forms, or it really abstracts the form if you're looking at real reference photos and images. I was kind of surprised to see that as I was looking around at kind of gathering evidence. I want to make sure I'm emulating all right, these clasped hands. I'm hoping that they're looking right. I have no idea. Kind of weird things to draw. And then these squishy forms behind her arm. I want to get those some really nice curves. And my program, I guess my graphics processor has trouble with the Wacom sensor gauges. So if I'm not zoomed in really well, it starts to look really kind of shaky and vibration, like it captures a little too much vibration. And I'm not really sure what goes on in the computer processing portion of that process, but something goes on and stop that. It starts looking a little funky. It looks like squiggly art. So I've got to zoom in like this. I'm sorry if that's a little bothersome to you. Let's go ahead and get her her forehead there. Might get her arm a little bit. Is that too curvy? It's hard to tell when you're zoomed in like that. I kind of like the curve. It might not be accurate as far as realistic, but I think it adds a little bit of... Well, to think about it, like the more straight her arm is, the more curved this curve might seem. So there is that debate going on in my mind. How about we just leave it? Less work is preferable. All right, so this is going to be the kind of tricky part. We want this curve to feel very squished. And I think it went too flat right there. Let's try it one more time. There we go. That was much better. I am going to widen it just a little bit. And bring it over one. There we go. Actually, let's come inwards just a little bit. That way it kind of shoops outward. And we'll come out with it a little bit right here too. And that will help it feel like it's being squished. There's pressure in this kind of this fluid form. And I'm probably putting too much effort and thought into a little small tiny detail. This is my perfectionist personality coming through, I think, that I was talking about earlier. You know, I'm having conversations about how many squiggles there should be in a line, or if a line should be slightly more curved or slightly less curved. Here we go. These are the struggles of an artist. All right, here we go. Now, I do need to stick her little triangular headdress thing on behind her. I forgot to draw that in, but we will just leave that off for now. We'll keep working on her arms here. Actually, let's keep her arm form in there, and then we'll give her a chance to have that curve overwhelm her arm. There we go. All right. Let's give a few more little hair curls so we remember that we're looking at her hair right there. And let's kind of I'll show you these squiggles that I'm talking about. You see that? Well, that's not too bad, but it's not very fluid either. The more zoomed in I get, the better the lines look. And there's like infinite zoom on this tablet, so you can imagine the problems that creates for a person like me. You're like, oh, let's zoom in more. We can get the line even better. All right. I moved this, and I might be scooting it. No, I think I'll have, yeah, I think I'll just end up cutting this off right over here. But this is where the dress runs into her body. And we're trying to create this like top down, kind of like her pelvis is aimed forward and pitched forward, I guess you would say. Her, and so the back of her dress, you see the back of it, like from top down more, less than what would be the underside of it. You wouldn't see any underside at all. All right. All right, that's a good curve. It was good to get that curve on the first try. Although I am erasing some, so I guess you wouldn't say that. Okay, so let's see. This is where her arm is. It's going to come over that. I'm wondering if... I guess we should try drawing this shoulder pad first. And we want it to kind of angle that way some to help emphasize this, this, you know, shoulder being up. I drew that line to help you see what I'm talking about, because I'm stumbling over my words trying to describe that right now. There we go. Okay. So we've got Wendy Wonka's shoulder pad over there. And we're just going to, I wonder if I should just blacken that spot right there. There we go. Make sure we can flat color that easily. I'm tempted to color that black, but I'm going to just leave it. I like feeling a lot of stuff with color. I think that's one thing you kind of might notice with my artwork when comparing it to other artists is I probably don't ink as heavily as a lot of other people do. I like to put a lot of color into it. Since I do the penciling, the inking, and the coloring, all three steps, which I'm ready to, you know, give up some of those processes if anybody's interested. You know, taking applications. Apply within. Okay. Because yeah, I'm starting to get really overwhelmed with the amount of deadlines I always have going on. And it's just I need a break. Let's see. I'm wondering if we should come down here and kind of darken that a little bit there. That's a little bit more attractive, I guess. Okay, her elbow. Let's give it, you know how you can take a picture of your elbow and it looks like a butt or something? Like this crease right here. Try to make sure that looks like a butt. All right. Very realistic. Okay. All right. Let's just stay with that. It's always hard knowing like what it would actually look like. I don't think I have enough, I've not studied references enough to know, okay, so when you're squeezing this large, you know, squishy object, how does it, you know, overtake like an arm or fingers or hands or, you know, other objects? Like, how does it affect the, how does it overflow and come over to affect those lines. That's something I probably need to study more. It's not a bad thing to study, but just when do you have the time? And where do you find that kind of thing? Okay, I did her hands first because her hands are going to be, you know, like pressed up against the glass right here. I don't know if you can tell by the image here, but her hands are up against a glass like she's trying to get out. And we probably want to give her thumb kind of a round form, because it's going to be round whenever a thumb, like if you imagine pushing your thumb against something, there's a tendency to, you know, not do that with your thumb to make it look like a thumb. So we're going to round the thumb a little bit more. It's not going to look like a normal thumb. There we are. And we're going to draw these little bone ridges from the palm. I'm pressing on mine right now. All right, class. Press on your hand. Feel your bones in your hand. All right, now I'm going to tell myself to have fun, be gestural and quick with this artwork on her eyes, and try to communicate speed rather than perfection. But also it needs to look good. First and foremost. All right, there we go. I was looking at a lot of different images of Wendy Wonka, and I have done hundreds of drawings of Wendy Wonka inside the comic. Like there's literally hundreds of panels that have Wendy Wonka featured on it. And I think my favorite drawing ever that I've done of Wendy Wonka is the one where it's at the end of issue 2.3, the Blueberry Caverns, Crystal Caverns. The end of that issue where her and this girl are in the elevator, and the elevator flies upwards at a back-breaking speed, and it sends them into the floor, and they're like looking super ugly as they get thrown into the ground at blinding speed. All right, that's my quick let's draw a little bit right there, a little tooth recession going on right there. And by that I mean like where the teeth go backwards, not receding gums or anything. All right, I think we've successfully captured the panic and the fear in her eyes and her mouth. And now we have to think about how hair looks when it's kind of like pushed up against the window. So it's not laying like it normally lays. And let's say it's kind of getting moved by these fingers as well. This extra little curved tip up here looks a little strange. We might not end up keeping that. And it looks like I need to move her entire eye system, her eye system, upwards just a little bit to do that like angle of the face. Sometimes you lose that in your sketching and everything sort of starts to like flatten out and become you know, man-made, or you know, just like you don't, everything starts to like dull down a little bit as you're drawing. You gotta tell yourself, like I am, like, all right, let's go for fun, let's keep it interesting. Don't oh, she kind of looks like Jennifer Aniston in a little bit. That's who I would cast if I was casting her, I guess. All right. But this lady, or this girl, I should say, this girl, she is meant to be like the Wendy Wonka protege, sort of like Willie had Charlie. And so she is sort of a reflection of Wendy. So whenever Wendy kind of like says, "You remind me of myself," that was, I don't know if she ever says that. I think I might have ended up cutting that out of the script, but at some point she was supposed to say that, or I wanted to. It might have been like, yeah, that's a little too on the nose, so I'm gonna cut that out. So I don't know. That would be an interesting thing to go back and look at, see if I kept it or not. All right, let's do the other hand now, and I think we will be done. I'm going to save this, make sure it's saving. Do not want to lose more than 5 minutes of work ever. This computer I have has been really good for me as far as not losing work. I've had a lot of computers that very quickly just, you know, barely lasted a year. This one has now lasted me, this is my second year on this computer. So that's pretty good so far, to not show any signs of slowing. It's the Omen by HP, I think. It's meant to be a gaming computer, but I'm definitely not a gamer. I do have one game on here. I've got the Star Wars Battlefront on here, and I think it nearly took up my entire hard drive. But it was back when they were giving it out for free. Like, it was really amazing. They gave out Star Wars Battlefront 2 for PC for free. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense why they were giving it away for free. But you could download it for free. And it was really fun because everybody had it, and there was a huge online player base. I haven't played it in a long time, though, so I'll have to get that out one day. I wonder if anybody's still playing that on PC. I'm thinking of maybe strengthening these lines a little bit. Give a little bit of weight to the bottom side of it right there. They all kind of have that in common, all those fingers. There we go with those bone ends. Bone Daddy. Love that line from, what's that? Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah. I gotta find, what is that line? What's the first part of that line? It's like, or way to go, Bone Daddy. That's a great line. All right, here we go. she's got like two of those bang things coming off of her hair, and then she's got the Dutch braids coming off the back of her head. But I think we're going to show basically like this is not really in folk, you know, everything outside of what's pressed up against the glass is not really visible. We'd probably just color it in instead of ink it, suggest it rather than show it. But her eyes right here, that looks messed up. So let's fix her eyes right here. And I think it's because there's a drastically different method to show the eyes. You know, her highlights aren't matching up right here. That's a little bit better. Might continue working on it slightly as I color it. Our work is never done. But yeah, I think the underline of the eye being too heavy is also a little bit distracting. But that's how we did it. I can't undo it. There we go. There she is. And I really have to like create some kind of video of this scene with the Reunited song playing in the background. It's like a TikTok video or something, you know. It really reminds me of us, like the kind of atmosphere I'm going for in Mofo and Coco as I have been writing it, which I've been writing for like 7 years or something. Like, how long have I been writing this thing? Too long. It needs to actually happen. But now that Mofo and Coco is winding down, Sanderson's Stepsisters is finished, you know, it's like, oh, I'm actually in position to try working on Mofo and Coco. Yay. All right, I think I actually might have given this a little too much space. We might swing that over a little bit, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So we're just selecting this with the select tool, and I'm going to select everything, and then we're going to hold shift and we're going to move it, but I'm actually going to let go of shift. Disregard that shift. Shifty. Okay. She's crafty. Okay, we're going to move that over. We're going to press Alt and take that off. We did that. All right, now her waist is a little more tapered, a little more of a waistline there. All right, that's good. We're looking good now. I kind of want to draw these hearts, and I did these hearts looking really funky. These are like strange looking hearts. I'll tell you. If my students ever drew hearts like this, I would say, well, that's an interesting way to draw a heart, but I get it. I like it. I'm laughing because you know what it reminds me of. Okay. We're probably going to move all this around just a little bit. You know, like move the word bubble upwards a little bit, and kind of play around with the positioning of it before everything's all said and done. But, there we go. Wendy Wonka and the blonde girl. That's all I that's all I know to call her, blonde girl. What is her name? What is her name? I don't know if I've ever assigned her a name. We'll have to do that. Might even make a joke about that in the story. She's so dispensable that she doesn't have a name. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in and watching. I hope you've had fun listening and watching Wendy Wonka be reunited with the chamber of secrets. But that's all we're gonna do today on the live stream. Tune in to more Patreon for more peeks, and I'm gonna try to have a page penciled and inked every single day, which is a massive goal. That's really hard to do. But right now I am on page 13, and today is February 13th. I'm just realizing that means I have to work all day on Valentine's Day, and I don't know if that's gonna fly. So we'll see about this. But pretty much every day, know that I'm working on that page number. It is February 13th, and thank you again for tuning into the live stream. I will see you next time.